Hello.
We totally weren't talking about crazy shit right before this.
Not at all.
Welcome to Gritty Hippie. I'm Cori.
And I'm Tiffany.
And just join us as we have thought-provoking conversations with friends you never had but wish you did, as we defy societal norms and cackle over the most taboo. This is episode 3.
Yay! Thanks for listening. Please share this episode with someone you think that will be interested in listening to this conversation. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Gritty Hippie, and on Instagram, official Gritty Hippie. And don't forget to rate and review. It really does help with expanding our community and audience.
Yeah, man. This is episode 3, and today we're going to be discussing Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Yes, Kwanzaa.
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folks.
Kwanzaa. So full disclosure, we are still learning. We're unsure. We're just very curious. So we're not professionals. We've never celebrated Kwanzaa before.
There's a first time for everything, so. So what is Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa is a week-long celebration held in the United States that honors African American heritage and culture. Kwanzaa is observed from December 26th to January 1st and culminates in gift-giving and a big feast. It was created by Dr. Maulana. We didn't even look up his name.
Word.
I'm freestyling right now.
We didn't respect that.
I mean,
but
I don't
we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Dr. Maulana Karenga in 1966, so 54 years ago, he created this holiday in response to the Watts riots in Los Angeles in 1965 as a way to bring African Americans together as a community and reinforce family, community, and culture.
Dope. Kwanzaa is a cultural event where African American racial identity is formed and is refashioned in the post-civil rights era.
Right.
It retells the African American story with the distant African rural past elevated to the point of origin, so everybody understands where you're coming from, where these stories originate, where these values and morals are rooted.
Right. One of its main goals, basically, for African American descendants to look back at their cultural roots as a source of celebration.
Yes.
According to Karenga, non-blacks can also enjoy Kwanzaa, just as non-Mexicans commemorate Cinco de Mayo. It's a pan-African holiday.
Yep. Those who see Kwanzaa's 7 principles as affirmations of upward mobility celebrate Kwanzaa. I think that's why it got our attention in the first place.
Keyword, upward mobility.
Upward mobility, like all the way up. You know?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It became more widespread, though, because it served the important function of affirming racial and familial identity. Family is really important in Kwanzaa. It's about bringing family and your friends together, learning about your historical beginnings. It's a way to affirm, as you said, multiculturalism, the belief that all cultures were equally valued.
Right.
So that's why I see how different people could celebrate this all over the world.
And they do. It's a worldwide holiday.
Yeah.
But is Kwanzaa religious, though?
It's not.
Yeah.
You don't need to be religious. You can be religious. You don't, it just has nothing to do with religion and more to do with culture.
Right. So African descendants of all faiths can and do celebrate Kwanzaa. For example, Muslims, Christians, Hebrews, Jewish people, Buddhists, etc. can celebrate Kwanzaa. Like, they're more than welcome to. And they do.
Kwanzaa is taught in schools. Just like, they teach us about Hanukkah, which is a Jewish holiday. They teach us about Christmas or Santa Claus and all of these things.
Well, I remember they taught us about Kwanzaa in school, in elementary school specifically, and it was like around December because that's when it's celebrated along with like Christmas and Hanukkah. And like they taught us about all the holidays, Hanukkah as well, and we learned like the dreidel song for Hanukkah. I don't remember.
Hanukkah, come like the menorah.
Okay, you said I didn't even remember the song. Go off, sis.
We give you a treat.
Wow, yeah. I'm impressed.
You know,
but for Kwanzaa, I really don't remember much. I do remember like that the candles and the colors, but I didn't really remember. I remember that they had 7 principles. I didn't remember what they were or what they stood for, but I didn't remember any songs for it.
I don't remember anything.
But it's a very interesting holiday, and I'm still intrigued by it. So. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Especially as an adult where you understand like what value, you understand the importance of having values, you understand what things mean. Words have meaning. Words mean things.
Exactly.
And you also, we and I am speaking for myself, from my experience, like I feel like having these traditions, now that we can we're making choices about everything in our lives. Like, we're the ones responsible for ourselves. So if I'm going to be celebrating something, consuming something, whether it's food, information, time with others, like
anything,
I need it to have some value.
Ooh, yes.
And the values that are represented in the 7 principles is like, this is fire.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, this is lit. This makes sense. This sounds like a community. This sounds like upward mobility. Like,
yep. Yeah.
Like, we moving on up. And
all the way up.
Yeah. It's lit.
Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa are all December holidays. But in particular, Kwanzaa and Hanukkah are similar in that both celebrations use a candelabra.
Yep.
Which is the...
What's that?
I'll tell you right now. It's that the candle holder that has like multiple candles on them. Believe it's 7 for Kwanzaa because it's 7 principles. I'm not sure exactly the number for Hanukkah. I believe it's also the 7 or 8. But it's each candle is lit each day of celebration, and both Kwanzaa and Hanukkah are started out of resisting oppression and assimilation and upward mobility.
I think it's very necessary to have some sort of like reunion.
Yeah.
Like,
commemoration.
Yeah. Let the good times roll. Keep fulfilling yourself and your highest potential and show love. Like, that's pretty dope to me. It's a reason why I also like really have always enjoyed the holidays, because these are pagan holidays, and I was, born into a Catholic family, but like it's less about like the religion aspect for me when it comes to Christmas, right, specifically, or like Easter,
right,
and we could even mention Thanksgiving. So although it's not a Christian like holiday, but it makes me, what was my thought?
It's more about family and reunion.
It's more about family and reunion, exactly.
Celebration.
It's about, I get to see my people.
Right.
So Kwanzaa is very similar in that.
Yeah, in that regard, I agree.
And I think that if anything, it's the most powerful in that. Because not only do you reunite, but you also...
Specific purpose behind, like, each day of celebration.
You go in with these principles. Like, every day it's dedicated to a principle, so you can completely like devote your attention to it as a collective unit. And it's not that you're just celebrating it these 7 days, as you said, Tiff. Like, this is a constant thing. Like, this is an affirmation. I love when they put it that way, because the affirmation is something you tell yourself daily. So it's like we could do so much when we elevate our voices towards certain things. It's like a a massive prayer. It's like when everybody was
that's
beating.
so powerful.
It's like when everybody was beating their pots during like the beginning of the corona.
Right.
You know, it's like it does something to you. So, as far as like a holiday,
it's more than that.
Yeah. Some people see Kwanzaa as a supplement to Christmas rather than as an alternative. But you can celebrate both.
Yeah. You don't need to celebrate either or.
Some people are like, I don't know, that's really not it. But look, again, we don't know anything. We just know what we looked up, and there's a lot of variations to certain things. And depending on, you know, because we live in PC culture, and like it's true, and you still want to be sensitive to people and their experiences and all of this. You know, you don't ever want anyone to feel like you're coming in and like, I don't know, fucking shit up, being offensive, you know, completely like not doing things the way it is. So, but I think that to a certain point, like, we can learn from different cultures, traditions, practices. Like, you don't need to be Muslim to read, you know, the Quran. Yeah. You don't need to pray 5 times a day in order to like understand certain teachings. Right. Yeah. Especially like with Buddhism and stuff. So. Right. I agree. It's like we can take away from these traditions, whether they're man-made or not, because they all are, and really see the value in it and get past like the drama. Yeah. And speaking of drama, let's get into that. So, the creator of Hanukkah, whose real name is actually Ronald Everett, he was born in rural Maryland in 1941, and 5 years after he created Kwanzaa, so in 1971, he was convicted of kidnapping, brutalizing, and torturing 2 women that were part of his ultra-radical paramilitary black nationalist cult called US Organization, which stands for us, not them. That's so messy. So, continuing. He did this. Furthermore, stay tuned. We gotta be transparent. Like, this is what we found, and this is a big reason why people don't celebrate Kwanzaa. And I think it's very important to acknowledge the history instead of just like burying it under the rug, you know? Yeah. So he did this with the help of 3 other members of his organization because he believed that the women were using magic crystals to poison him on behalf of his enemies. El tipo estaba loco. That's how he thought that he was getting poisoned? Yep. Okay. Bro, using magic crystals. Like, he believes in crystals. Right now. I guess. A psychiatrist determined that he was both paranoid and schizophrenic during trial, but a successful campaign of writing letters to state officials led to a grant of parole in 1975, and he only served 4 out of 10 years, bro. They thought that, well, they claimed that he's a FBI. He's the ops. Nah, he's just a raging misogynist and a fucking prick. Okay, well, only 1 year after his release, Karenga went to receive his PhD, and later on... Okay, good for you. Later on, he served as professor of Africana Studies at California State University, Long Beach, until he retired in 2002. And now he's living his happily retired life. Yuck. So even with all that bullshit and all that... Kwanzaa's still lit. The principles of Kwanzaa is still lit. We still going up, baby. The principles are still lit. Yeah. I don't care for this person. I feel like we need to acknowledge his full story just because, you know, he's the founder, creator, so it's basically like you can't separate the two, right? But it shouldn't tarnish the value and beauty of the holiday that promotes collective action for the collective good. Exactly. Like, are we reading and understanding what we're reading? Do we get what it's saying? Like, you really can't just cancel. Oh my god, I was thinking about this. I was dying to talk to you. Cancel culture. Girl, we need to do a whole episode on that. You can't just cancel culture something that actually makes sense for people to do in a community where nobody else is gonna do it for them.
Right.
Ooh,
fire bars.
This shit is crazy.
Yo, deadass. Like, we need to help ourselves, and this is a model for that.
Forget him.
Like, the Jewish do that. Chinese do that in Chinatown. Habari, Gani.
Umoja.
Ooh.
Which is unity. That is the first principle of Kwanzaa. It means you're striving for and to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. To me, unity is all about making sure one hand washes the other, people look out for each other, everybody provides their best qualities to the world.
Right.
Because you never know when you need the next person, and we always need each other.
Yeah, I agree. I interpret it as continuing maintenance and thriving unity within the family and community.
I like that. Maintenance. That's right. Maintenance. Sheesh.
So day 2 of Kwanzaa is Kujichagulia. Hope I said that right.
Kujichagulia.
Oh, so you know it? No.
Yeah.
The song?
No.
Okay.
They have Kwanzaa songs to help children remember these words, these beautiful words. Kujichagulia. Which
means self-determination. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. And I interpret this as individual growth and prosperity. If we can't heal and develop ourselves, how can we advocate and carry our community?
Oh my God, this one touches my soul.
It's deep.
This one hits deep because I have so many goals and dreams for myself. And I think, like, you know, I'm really aware that the things that I care about and things that I need to do require work. And it's just like, holy shit, it requires that I become this person who practices what they preach and puts in the work and is consistently showing up in such a way that really truly represents the type of lifestyle and the type of life that I'm
envisioning.
Yeah, that I like am striving to have. So Kujichagulia, self-determination, hits me in a way where it's like, the fact that it's day 2 is like, alright, so what's up? It's like off rip, you already understand that you need to be your best self in order to show up as best as you can for others.
Yeah. I feel like that one is, because it's so centralized in individual growth, it's like the one that hits the most, because it's really like,
I didn't expect that one.
Yo, it really starts with yourself.
Yeah. So the third day is Ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. Oh,
love that one.
Oh, that's why we protest. Even if there's not an issue in our very block or neighborhood, if we're aware of something going on globally, we all have the right and we should stand up and speak about something unfair and unjust. That's why people protest.
Yeah. And that's why there's so many, like, online activists.
Yeah.
Online activism.
Yeah.
Because we are so much more interconnected with social media and the internet, that we are able to find about injustices happening around the world.
But what I love most is solve them together.
Yeah.
Because that's even what this podcast is about. Like, all right. Yo, you heard about this shit? Or, like, you went through this? Okay, how do I break this down right now? Because I think, like, social media lets us see everything. And sometimes it could be overwhelming. And, like, we stop at that, right? Like we only are online activists. And I'm not knocking anybody. I don't know if you are, like, I don't even know what the fucking online activist really is.
Right.
But Blue's Clues it. Like, you know? So, just is important that this Ujima, collective work and responsibility,
it doesn't just stop at your online presence.
Right. that we like, because I believe if we are our best selves and we understand the value of unity and community and family, then, and tradition and values, then we will put ourselves in a position to grow and be challenged. And like, what better way to do that than with people?
Yeah. And outside of protesting, I also feel like it represents like community volunteering and outreach programs.
Yes.
So it can be as simple as like volunteering at your local community center.
Yeah.
Helping out your neighbors. Things like that.
Like, I was walking through Chinatown. Well, we drove past Chinatown one day, and it was so dirty. It was just a lot of
trash,
rubbish everywhere. And I was like, yo, I wonder if people gathering and clean their community. And it's next episode, are we announcing it like that?
Stay tuned for
segue.
Episode 4.
It's gonna be a segue to episode 4, what we're speaking of right now, like ways that you can actually show up to your community.
Yeah, civic engagement.
It's as simple as just taking a look around. So yes.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
Next is
Ujama, which is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them. Basically, support black businesses for us, by us.
Yeah. Circulate the dollar in your community. I love this one right here because I've never celebrated Kwanzaa. This is something that we learned about and as children, and we didn't really understand till we became adults, and then we were able to process it more. And then I was like, why we don't celebrate? Why doesn't everybody celebrate this? So I am only left to like fantasize or dream about what it would be like to be in a big family with people speaking about cooperative economics on some, all right, let's
financial literacy shit.
Let's put all of our money together and buy this lot of land.
Right.
Let's put all of our money together and que se yo, whatever, and we make a profit out of it. You know, like this like business forward. It was like moving forward, thinking
upward
about
mobility,
thinking about yourself as a boss, as someone who was able to, this country is not for individuals. We should be talking about this in the next episode as well, but we really see ourselves as individualist community, but that's why we're not working. That's why nothing right now in America is working. We should be seeing it as a collective society. Yes,
we working really together.
We need to go back to some type of like banter.
God. Okay, but cooperative economics, it could be as simple as just supporting your local mom and shop stores, because gentrification is very real and they're shutting down by the hundreds, and it's really sad to see in our communities.
And you literally see it,
and it's really sad.
It's sad. It's like ghost town. But yes, go to your mom and pop shop. And use your social media and the tools that you have to your advantage. Don't think that you're too cool for that. I needed that pause there to emphasize the message.
Reflect on that.
The next one is Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So being of service to your community, what's your purpose? I think to me, like, when I hear the word purpose, I have to think about my true self. So it's like, okay, I want to show up authentically, and I want to provide whatever my strengths are. So we all have a purpose, right? Your mother has told you this. It's someone special in your life has told you have a purpose. You matter. So like, I feel like so often, when's the last time you said that to yourself? So like, understand your purpose. And lived in that purpose. And lived in it, right? Like, it's already a big step for some people to believe that they even have a value, that they're worthy. So Nia is a beautiful affirmation of like, you matter, you serve a purpose, you can contribute to this world in a way nobody else can.
Yeah, I love that actually. So the next principle or affirmation is Kumba, which means creativity. To always do as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it.
Inherited it.
Inherited it. Period. So how can we channel our creative energies to build and preserve a strong and vibrant community? Basically. Just because I'm sitting next to you. Oh, shit. I'm thinking of how you're always saying how, well, you're an artist. If people don't know, Cori's an artist. She's always saying how she can build a whole ass mural right here, which is like the building right across her window. And I feel like that's a great idea. And like just beautifying like the art community with like art is so fucking important. Because
everywhere, art everywhere.
Yo, the importance of art is not just pretty to look at.
It holds a message.
Yeah. So I feel like that would be a great example for Kumba.
Picking up the fucking trash in your neighborhood. As simple as that. Don't litter in no neighborhood.
Yo, that shit irks me.
Leave it better than you found it. And finally, Imani, which is faith, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Oh, man.
So, yeah.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it is. I didn't know it meant faith, but
yeah,
I love that. For me, it means not losing faith in what the world could be, which you just mentioned, like creativity and imagining a world of like possibilities and how it can be better than what it already is.
Dope. For me, it's just like believe in people. Like just believe in people. Believe that people serve. Believe that you need people, because if you don't think so, then you're missing out on a lot of as I said, victory of our struggle. There's no need to struggle alone, and if we're together, there's less of that. So faith, Imani, the last day, the 7th day of Kwanzaa, to me is to just believe in people.
So how do you actually celebrate Kwanzaa? Well, I did mention the candelabra or kinara in Swahili, which is 7 candles. 3 of the 7 candles are red, which represents the struggle we faced during slavery, colonization, and our modern day oppression. 3 of the candles are green, representing the land and our hopeful future. And 1 of the candle, which is the one in the center, is black, representing all people of African descent.
Blah, 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 blah.
Diaspora, stand up. Pra.
So also, Kwanzaa gifts, or zawadi, they should be homemade and sentimental. It's also said that this move is intentional on Karanga's part to avoid the consumerism that saturates Christmas. Interesting. 1 gift can be given each day to reinforce the principle of the day, or on December 31st. I also have read that Karanga like emphasized that you should eat like a certain type of food during this time. Other people have like been like, oh fuck that, you know. There's been a lot of things that people have been like, oh fuck that.
Yeah, I think it's evolved throughout the time, which is
definitely evolved.
Normal for any holiday, I believe. Yeah. Random question for you.
What's up?
Pick any of the 7 principles and tell me 1 gift you would give for that.
A gift? Oh, look at you, bitch. You so spontaneous.
My middle name.
Okay, so between unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity. What gift I would give? Ooh.
Right? Because it's like you could give one gift for each. It's like, what the hell am I going to give?
This gift to? This is a gift of...
Me, bitch.
Bueno.
Or not, damn.
Like, I think about cooperative economics like gifting someone land.
Ooh.
You know, them type of gifts. Or
she got money.
Or gifting someone like, I don't know, creativity. Well, you could give someone a fucking pencil for creativity.
I was going to say a coloring book.
But that's so easy. I didn't want to fucking
I know.
Fuck you, ask me a question, you know. Like,
I know.
Faith, I'll give them a all-inclusive ayahuasca trip to Costa Rica.
Oof, I want that one. Sign me the fuck up.
There you go.
Okay, I like that. Let's go get Liddy.
Bitch, that lady. Respect your ancestors.
Okay, I could live with my ancestors.
Facts.
that's what they want me to do.
So we're gonna celebrate Kwanzaa.
First time.
We've been wanting to celebrate Kwanzaa for like 3 years already. So
yo, we keep mentioning it and we never like.
Yeah, so we looked into it. We did some of our research.
This podcast held us accountable though.
We're still doing research. Oh my gosh, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, I would love to hear more about it. But speaking of people that celebrate Kwanzaa, shout out to one of the homies. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not, but in case he does, you'll use this part. The homie Fred Focus. He took the moment to talk with me about his experience growing up celebrating Kwanzaa in his home. So he's Dominican and his family is very much woke to the word woke.
I hate that word.
Me too.
Well, to put it,
but his family has always been conscious about you know where they come from and who they are. And it's amazing to see because it's like, yes, we understand. And they had the tradition of celebrating. And he said his favorite part was always like talking.
Talking what?
So in Kwanzaa, it's accustomed to the same way we broke down what the principle meant to us is how people will go around the table looking at each other across like face to face in the eyes and having a conversation about what each principle was, you know, or some person would lead it, and you know the conversations were happening amongst adults and children. So it gave children a sense of responsibility. It gives children a sense of like belonging and character development. You know, you give them the opportunity to express themselves, opinions and their character. They get to defend themselves and their views, and they are included in this, so they take it much seriously. So it's beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's how you instill tradition.
That's what I want to do with my children, with my friends. Like, I want to put my children on, right? I want to put myself on. I want to put you on. I want you to put me on. Like, let's put each other on.
That's basically what we're doing. This is what it is.
In the name of, you know, all those beautiful things.
Yeah.
So we're going to celebrate it.
We're back, and it's day 1 of Kwanzaa.
Habari, Gani.
Habari, Gani. Umoja!
Yes. It's Umoja today.
Unity.
I feel like a virgin.
Like a virgin.
We have a whole altar.
I can't wait for y'all to see. Well, you guys need to... Girl, Cori's spazzing next to me. Y'all need to follow us on Instagram at @officialgrittyhippie to see our altar. Oh, and YouTube, because we're going to post it on there too.
Yeah. So, we're back and we're better. Need you more than ever.
Okay.
So, basically, we wanted to record this in 2 parts.
Yes, because we wanted to actually, like, celebrate Kwanzaa and not just, like...
tell you about it.
Yeah.
We actually want to do this because we're talking about it and it's important to us. And let's tell the people again, why do we want to celebrate it?
We've been trying to celebrate this for how long? Like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I think that I just really believe in the principles, all 7 of them. I think it's really important in the, like, for myself, but like just as a collective, as a community. And I just believe that it's something that we should embody in our everyday lives.
Right.
And just practice.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful.
They're like beautiful commandments.
They're affirmations.
They're
I believe in affirmations. You know how much words of affirmation mean to me. So,
especially like when we're so caught up in the hustle and bustle, even like during COVID, there's still so much going on.
Right.
And it could be really disheartening to just turn on the news, and it's like affirmations keep me grounded because they're constant reminders about what really matters to me. And I think like that's the main reason why we want to celebrate this.
Well, how's your first day of Kwanzaa going?
it was not cute. I woke up. I said, Happy Kwanzaa. I'm still getting familiar with the words and the verbiage and all of the language. I know that I'm not necessarily celebrating it like, you know, super rigid.
Yeah, we're putting our own spin to it because we're from the diaspora, so we're putting like our own like, and we're also like Kwanzaa changes in the like depending on the family. I think
it does.
So it's not just like you had to follow the strictest.
Right. So when we were first doing research for this, I was like, we need this book. We need the Kwanzaa book. We need to do things like this.
And I'm like, girl, where's the book? I don't know.
Our corn needs to be not this yellow corn. We need like real corn.
We need to go to the
even
corn.
Even though no corn is real, but okay.
Oop.
I digress. I was like, we need, you know, it was like super anal. I think I'm just an anal person about certain things. So it was like,
no comment.
I'm annoying. But it's been fun because it does feel like I'm celebrating something.
Yeah. I think the candles solidified it for me.
Yes,
it was the candles for me.
It's so sexy.
I'm dead.
It's different. I've never like done anything that requires
not Kwanzaa candles being sexy.
Yes. What?
Okay, so
well, yes. So aside from like just being excited to celebrate something that I feel like is so wholesome.
It is wholesome.
And then like the people that I care about that are closest to me actually care and like are taking interest and are like, oh, I'm with it next year. So bitch, we're gonna do a dinner next year, please. Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna do it this year. It's just not gonna be.
No. I mean, like, I would like to have
a group of
people for a particular day. Maybe.
Man, we have 7 days. We can pick one.
Exactly. Pick one. Yes.
Okay.
How was your experience? How has your experience been so far?
Okay, so we haven't had any guidance with this putting together of this holiday, right? Our guidance has been the internets and our own like what's the word, like our own like want and need to like look for information anywhere we can find
our hearts.
So our desires and stuff, motivation. So we went to Harlem trying to find guidance of like what to do, where to get things, setting up altar, just information, you know?
Yeah.
Also right now it's COVID, it's holiday season, everybody's going crazy with like everything, you know, life. So it was pretty difficult to get
communicate,
access to information, get access to the materials that we need for the altar. People, first of all, I don't think Kwanzaa is as prevalent anymore, especially like in the African American community, which is the one who celebrates it the most.
Right.
So it was kind of tough, and it was a little disheartening to see and experience.
It's not like you're going to the street, like, you know, when you go outside and you see the big snowflakes and you know every like Christmas is in your face.
A whole bunch of streets just lined up selling like pine trees for Christmas.
Right, but you don't see anywhere just like a menorah or you know, like or just certain things that you would put on your altar for Kwanzaa specifically. So but I know that it's reemerging. And I'm really excited.
And it starts with us. So we did find the candles, which is what we really needed. I think that you were all adamant about getting that book, and I was like, girl, we need those candles.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Which you were as well, but I was just like, girl, those candles are more important. And I was like, where are we gonna get that?
So honestly, I didn't think it was gonna be difficult for us to find anything because I was like, we're just going to Harlem. Like, there has to
and then we go to Harlem and it's like crickets. Like,
ooh,
it was pretty hard. It was like we just randomly went to Harlem and asked people on the streets, like,
we pulled up. Where was it? We was between Adam Clayton Powell
and Malcolm X Boulevard in 125th,
right between
if
the
you
two
know
blocks.
You know.
So we decided, all right, it's not like there's a Kwanzaa store that we know of. And if you guys like have a Kwanzaa store or anything like that, please share with us because we'll promote that.
Yeah.
But We just went up to like a street vendor and we asked the lady kindly, "Excuse us, we're looking for things for Kwanzaa." That was how we did it. Yeah. And then she said, "Walk down the block. They got some up the Ave." And we did just that. And then we asked another person, because that's how you ask for directions. You gotta like make sure you're going the right way. And lo and behold, like 3 businesses down, we ended up finding like a very interesting location where there was just a bunch of artisanal African vendors, and it was beautiful to see. It was very unique. I would have never gone in there for myself, right. Like if I wasn't really looking for something. So it was nice to see that. And then that's where we got the candles, and it was like the last candles available, because
girl, she got them from the display window. Like,
we went last minute too, because
it's life.
And it was just like, okay, we got the candles, it's lit. Everything else, we kind of like freestyle, and I feel comfortable. I feel like even though we freestyled it, it wasn't on some like appropriation shit. It was on some like, this is my flair from the diaspora, like.
Yeah, and it's not like we're just putting anything together like just to throw it together. We actually like put intentionality behind it. So I'm comfortable with what came to be our altar.
Yeah, I feel like everything that's on the table is a great representation of our values and the things we care about, and they're aligned with like our roots.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a call to action that we offer you all for Kwanzaa would be, well, my personal favorite is to watch the Proud Family Kwanzaa episode.
Oh my god, yes!
Yo, I love the Proud Family. Shout out to the Proud Family. If you know, you should watch it if you haven't.
That was one of my favorite cartoons growing up.
But they have a episode on Kwanzaa, and it's really cute.
It's really cute.
So yeah, watch that and nurture your inner child. Also, try to implement the 7 principles into your everyday life, even if you're not celebrating Kwanzaa the week off. I think it's really important. Like we mentioned, these are literally affirmations, and it should be exemplified throughout your life daily.
Oh, yes. I agree. My call to action is ask people about Kwanzaa. Just start the conversation. Yo, you ever heard of Kwanzaa, or someone that celebrates Kwanzaa? Like when we started doing research for this, I was like, I don't know anyone that celebrates Kwanzaa, but I did. I just didn't know because, I'm not tapped in and it's not as popular. So reach out, have the conversation, look it up yourself. That I will always tell you to look us up. Try to see if you identify with any of them, and even if you choose not to celebrate it the way that it's intended to be, see how you can still implement it in your own life.
Nice. Beautiful.
Nothing too crazy.
So, a closing quote that I will leave you all with, something to think about. Shantae Griffin said, Kwanzaa beckons us to the heights of our humanity, petitioning us to imagine ourselves and our communities in ways white American culture cannot and will not. So, just ponder on that for a little bit.
I have one too. It's by Deborah Friedman Lustig. She says, multicultural education aims to improve understanding among students of different ethnic groups, but it can lessen intergroup conflict only if it is implemented systematically. So it's back to what we're talking about all the time. Yeah, this is cute, but
what you're doing about it?
It's the system. Do they celebrate Kwanzaa in your child's school? That might be something that you might want to look into. Do they celebrate Kwanzaa in the elder community center? That might be something that I might be interested in being like, yo, Isabella, what's up? Yeah, systematically means that we're really giving this legal importance.
Because as we know, even though it's a holiday, it's not always on the calendar like Christmas is or Hanukkah is.
Right. So it's like, put some respect on Kwanzaa.
Ooh. Period. Happy Kwanzaa, everybody. Habari, Gani.
Habari, Gani. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Gritty Hippie. This is our Kwanzaa edition.
Yay! Party time, celebration time.
So we're gonna go light our candle now.
Have a good one. Happy Kwanzaa. And Happy New Year. Catch you in the next year.
Bye.
Bye.